So this is something that I'm actually very passionate about, and I actually teach a class at the Birth Center called We're in This Together, which is essentially a postpartum class. So I'm really excited about this. So in that class, and I teach this in the class, but I also think it's really important. And so we talk about bringing home a baby and what that will look like. So, for example, the mother will be the one that is breastfeeding, most likely. So, how does that include the partner or other family members, and what can the mother expect while she's breastfeeding? She's the one that has to get up. She's the one that has to latch the baby. She's the one that has to do all these things. So I talk about how they can together make a breastfeeding basket, and there can be snacks and water bottles and magazines and books in there. And that when the mother sits down to breastfeed, the partner or a family member can bring this basket and be like an involved part. Or when the baby gets hungry, they can hold the baby, and then mom can go to the bathroom before she sits down to nurse. So that's just one little thing. And then I explained to them that this, of course, should evolve. So this is for breastfeeding, but you should lean on each other and tag team things and find ways to tag team other aspects of parenting, and just use this as kind of like a example. Like, do it, so not just an example, but something to grow on. Other things we talk about as far as parenting is decisions that you can't take back. So, for example, the two biggest ones, of course, are vaccines and circumcision. And we don't ever share our personal opinions, us being the midwives, but we do simply say that, for example, once you give a vaccine, you can't take it back. And once you circumcise, you can't go put the foreskin back on. So we just talk about making decisions. Like, those are pretty much the two biggest decisions, or one of the two biggest decisions that you would make for your child kind of immediately. So talking that through with them, and what does that look like, and then explaining to them that that's, how you work this out and how you decide. This isn't going to go away. So you will have to continue to make these decisions for your children for many, many years. Other things we talk about are, meal prepping. Like, you're going to have this new baby, you're going to be up, you're going to be tired, but you have to nourish yourself. So can you meal prep now? Can you put things in the freezer? Can you make a meal train now? Also putting like a little sign on the door that says, we have a new baby. Please don't be offended if we don't answer the door. So that leads me into my parenting conversation about setting up boundaries. So again, like, this is something that we talk about at birth, right? Who do you want at your birth? Why do you want them at your birth? Are you sure you want them there? So this continues. It expands past birth. It goes into, who do you want holding your new baby? Or who do you want to see? Do you want to entertain? For example, my mother-in-law is crazy, and I'm sure when I have a baby, she will want to, like, just be there, but she'll stress me out, so she's not coming. No, I will let her see my baby, but she's not going to live with me. So that's what I mean. Like, set your boundaries, and you're going to have to set boundaries for all of your parenting career. You're going to set boundaries with other people, but you're also going to set boundaries for your child from a very young age. Like, actually, it's not okay to hit mom in the face, or no, you can't go to that sleepover, I don't know them, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. The boundaries will continue. So those are a few examples. Another big thing that I highlight is, and this is specifically for people who are married or in a relationship, the changes that come with parenting. So, for example, sex could change, and you already have to take 6 to 8 weeks off, and it may not feel the same, and it may hurt, and things may have shifted or changed, and she's nursing, and so is there even time? And so setting realistic expectations and really working on communication, and it's really important. And so just talking about that, and we play this little game where we remind each other why we married our partner. So we go around the room, or not necessarily married, why we chose our partner. and we say nice things about them. And so it's really nice to it's a good reminder for everybody in a relationship. Actually, my husband and I teach the class together, and it's so nice, and we don't have any kids. It's very nice. So doing that, and so just setting realistic expectations and communication and things like this. Another thing, we do touch on this, that it would be a lot different with a second baby, or a third or a fourth or subsequent. So, for example, that would be when we would touch on how are your other children going to react to this new baby? Have you set them up appropriately and appropriately for their age? So again, I don't know why this is, but a lot of times in prenatals we're talking about, so like, is your other child coming to this birth? Have you had your older child watch birth videos and get acclimated to the sound? And it's, that's very important because you wouldn't want your child to come in and then like have, I could get really crazy. But it's so much deeper than that. And I think it is more important to prepare them for the lifelong fact that they're not an only child anymore. And you love this baby, like you love them, or, yeah. And so sharing and just preparing that their world's also shifting, and that's important. And so to touch base on that. So, and we really enjoy that. And so something we teach them is to give their older children their own baby doll. And you have to bring out the baby doll when you come home with your baby, because if you give it to them before, then they've already had their baby, and no. So you come home with the baby, you give older children a baby doll. And then when you're feeding your baby and they're upset, well, can you go feed your baby? Of course, it doesn't always work. If parenting was that easy, it would, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a parent. I'm not in denial, but it does give them something. It gives them, you're mad at the baby, hit your own baby, throw your own baby. You can do whatever you want. And that's part of the deal. Like, this is your baby. You can do whatever you want to this baby. So that's really helpful as far as preparing them. So yeah, it's so much, right? And then we also focus on self-care, like giving yourself permission to go get that pedicure if you want it, or to go drink the coffee with your friends, to prioritize yourself. It could be as simple as closing the door when you go pee, so you're alone for 35 seconds. As far as to say, like, yes, if you want to take a weekend trip, like, you should do it. You have to be the best version of yourself for your children. And so something that I always say is the best thing anyone could ever do for their children is be kind to their mother. And that includes the mother being kind to herself. It's very important. So yeah, we just go all over. Okay. I'm going to go take that call. Okay.